All right. Okay, so as you can see, is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right, so this morning we're looking at what is Wi-Fi and what is cellular broadband. You're using one of them to be right now in Zoom. Yes, you're using it. You're either on Wi-Fi or cellular broadband, and we'll find out what you're using to access the internet. Okay, all right. The Wilderness Technology Alliance DC iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information in any applications or topics made by the Wilderness Technology Alliance, including but not limited to mobile and device applications and any social media pages maintained by the Wilderness Technology DC iPad program, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Thank you. All right, so what is Wi-Fi? It refers to a wireless connection to the internet. As many, all of you right now are on your iPads, there's no wires, right?
Right.
Wires. Yeah. Feel free to talk when you need to. Yeah. There are no wires connected to anything. You're just walking around. You could walk around with that iPad and there are no wires there. A Wi-Fi connection to the internet uses what is known as a wireless signal to transmit and receive internet data between one or more computers or other devices such as a tablet or smartphone. Just like your smartphone, you don't walk around with wires connected to it. Your iPad is doing the same thing, behaving the same way. Okay. All right, so how did they even come up with the word or the term Wi-Fi? It comes from the acronym of two words, wireless and fidelity. Wireless refers to the fact that an internet signal is obtained without using direct wiring or cables. Like any wireless signal, an antenna is used to transmit and receive the Wi-Fi signal. Your computer, tablet, smartphone, game console, TV, or other device needs a Wi-Fi antenna to transmit and receive Wi-Fi data. You may not see the antenna on the outside of your device, but your device
Hello, Donald Ariane.
and it has the built-in antenna. Okay. All right, so let's talk about, we talked about the wireless part, transmitting without wireless. Well, where did the phi come into place? Wi-Fi. The second word of the acronym Wi-Fi is a built more of an obtuse. Phi comes from the word fidelity. This is a term that was previously used extensively in the business of recording and playback of music. Any of you remember the playback fidelity? Before there were computers, music was played on a phonogram that picked up sounds from what? A record. Many of us, in fact, all of us probably started off listening to music that way, right?
Right, yeah.
Early records often had poor what? Sound quality or fidelity. Fidelity means the sound is as faithfully reproduced as current technology allows. So that's what that, a little bit more on this fidelity here. So as records and phonographs improve, advertisers denoted some records and phonographs as high fidelity. So years ago, when you're buying, this is many years ago, you're buying something that's going to produce sound, you're looking for high fidelity, right?
Right.
Thus, the application of the term fidelity is a part of the acronym Wi-Fi is accomplished by using the letters phi. So now that we know where the term phi comes from, how does it work? I just learned this from doing the research, where that phi comes from. Now you all know now, right? Fidelity. well, I know about the wireless part, but why the FI,
Mhm.
you know?
Tell it. Okay.
Now you know it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So using Wi-Fi to access the internet or your computer, whether it's portable, connected to Wi-Fi device, which is almost like a router. So this here, as shown on my screen, is known as a router. Many of you may never had a router in your home. Any of you have Wi-Fi? If you have Wi-Fi, please let me know.
I do,
I
Teresa.
have Wi-Fi. I do too.
I
And
do too.
and with that Wi-Fi, do you have almost like this in your home?
Yes,
Yes,
I have a router.
that. I have a router.
Uh-huh.
Right. It's
I
a
have a
router, right?
Yeah, I have a
Routers are a
too.
specialized computer
I
that
have
does.
Wi-Fi too, Miss
Thank you,
Teresa.
Mrs. Yeah. So what is a router?
I have it also.
Yeah. What is it? It's routing of data on a network. It's a mini computer, even though it don't look like it, that's routing data on a net. Most home and small businesses routers have what is known as a built-in Wi-Fi antenna. And if they have this antenna, they have what? Wi-Fi capabilities. The router also has a wired connection to the internet. Okay, it must. Usually your internet service provider, often your cable or your phone company. So all of you who have Wi-Fi basically have some kind of provider like what? Comcast,
Verizon.
Infinity,
Comcast.
Verizon.
Infinity.
You're all paying a monthly bill, right?
Yes.
Right.
I
All
got
those-
mine through
Yeah.
through the
Comcast.
senior program.
Oh, you got your
No.
student senior program.
Yeah, and Infinity is paying for it.
So
Wonderful.
Teresa, the modem box on the, I used to have that Wi-Fi box, but I have a modem box. Are they the same?
Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah.
They're routing.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
routing data. That's what they're doing.
Okay, because they call it the modem box now.
Yeah, they do. So the
Okay.
router's antenna broadcasts a Wi-Fi signal so that your device can locate it. For two devices to use Wi-Fi, they need to recognize what? Each other.
Each other.
Right. Wi-Fi used as what is called a handshake. Before two devices can send and receive data to each other, it's like introducing two people to each other so they can start a what? Conversation.
Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Handshakes vary from one Wi-Fi network to another, since some don't require a password and some do, depending on how the Wi-Fi network is set up to work. Right? So that
Yeah.
password is used as the handshake. Say, let's talk.
Okay.
All right. So how does this really happen? Well, let's look at the physics behind it. Wi-Fi network commonly use what is known as one of two radio frequencies. There's the 2.4 gigahertz and it's the 5 gigahertz. So some of you, those of you that have Wi-Fi, you probably have both of them in your home. You have 2.4 and a 5. They usually come paired together. And the 2.4 is going to be slower than the 5. The higher the number, the faster the speed as far as getting access to data.
That's how I think mine is, Teresa. I think mine's higher now.
Higher than 5? I don't
Well,
think there's
it's
anything higher
5.
than
No,
5.
I mean, I think it's 5 because, like you say, I had the 4 and
Yes.
I got the modem box because I had more speed.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So these are radio frequencies managed in the US by the Federal Communication Commission around the world by what? Respective countries' regulation. So they're managed. All right, so since Wi-Fi uses radio signals, it can vary in signal strength based on distance, obstruction, and interference. These can all affect the reliability and the speed of your Wi-Fi internet connection. The distance can affect your Wi-Fi signal strength as you move around away from the antenna or on your Wi-Fi router. So in one, if you have like a fairly large home or whatever, it depends. You probably get better signals. You are closer to the router than if you're further away. Okay, some rooms you'll get better signal than others. That's basically what they're saying. For example, let's say years ago when the internet service really began and people were getting Wi-Fi, I remember speaking to a relative of mine. I went over to her house and I said, so do you have a lock on your Wi-Fi? And she says, what for? I don't need a lock. I says, she didn't realize at that point that her neighbors could jump on her network and use it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yes.
That's true, Teresa. That's true.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
outside my house, I used to always wonder why people be gathering, standing by my window. And I was like, what is
I
they
used to.
doing?
I
Yeah,
used to do it.
sure
I used
did.
to jump.
Until they found out you need a lock on your. I'm
Yep.
like, oh, okay. And after I did that, Teresa, they moved.
Yep. Yep. I am guilty of that. I used to use
Oh,
whoever network showed up.
Or get free
oh,
service from your neighbor.
Exactly. I was very, so
wow.
I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised.
Naughty
on
Teresa.
mine.
Naughty Teresa.
yep, I have to say I used to do that back in the day.
Oh,
Don't worry.
A lot of people
people
did
do.
that.
Amen. That's true.
So
It's
keep in
your
mind, if your Wi-Fi is not locked down, neighbors, anybody can walk by your home, pick up on your signal, and you and go further. They can get into your network.
How you like it?
Teresa,
Gotta
your
have a password.
Your password. Your
Gotta have
password
a
is your lock.
password.
Yeah, gotta have a password set up.
But didn't they have, Miss Teresa, haven't they recently asked people to stop sharing password or they're going to start charging people?
That's
Oh, really?
Netflix.
I haven't
You
heard
talking
of
about
that.
Netflix, Shirley?
Netflix.
Oh, that's Netflix. Ah,
Oh,
thank
okay.
you. I didn't realize that because I share Netflix with my son. So maybe.
Yeah,
they're gonna
they're
stop it.
tracking down on that.
Oh, they are, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Miss Teresa,
Yes,
Miss
Mr.
Teresa,
Yes.
how do you put a lock on your Wi-Fi?
Okay, so your provider comes in, sets up a router and says, okay, here's your user, here's your lock, here's your password. Your password is usually written on your router. Now,
Okay,
I
got you.
highly recommend that you change that password because that technician that came in and did the installation, he now knows your password. He can share it with whomever.
Oh, okay.
So I always recommend that you change your password after the technician comes in and install your Wi-Fi system. Now, if you don't know how, make sure you get someone that knows how to.
You do it.
There's a way you have to log into the vendor's platform, you have to create an account, and then you got to go in there and actually make the change. You've got
Okay.
yeah, you have to. But all routers usually come today with a password written on it, but it's up to you
Yeah.
to change that.
Okay.
Okay. So what
Thank
is the difference? Let's find out. So now we're going to look at your system, those of you who using the iPad without the Wi-Fi, but using cellular. You now have an iPad with cellular, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
So Apple calls these Wi-Fi and cellular models, and these iPads cost more, and they have a modem that allows them to connect to your carrier. You can put an eSIM card, which you already have, inside these iPads, as you would in your smartphone, and have a data connectivity throughout the day. So your Wi-Fi that was brought to your house from DACO comes with a SIM card, okay? I don't know if you know, but if you look at the side of your iPad, you'll see a little port about maybe about an inch or even smaller than an inch. Let me see. Let me look at. I'll tell you about the very tiny. That's where your SIM card is housed, and that's what gives you access to the internet. Okay. iPads support cellular connectivity aren't going away. They're not going in. This becoming, but it is for. But is it for you? Let's look at some of the pros and cons of getting an iPad that supports adding. Okay, so you already have that iPad, and we're just going to look at the advantages why DACL selected this for you, because it costs more than the iPad without cellular. All right, so what is it? What does this cellular part offers? You can't expect to always find a good Wi-Fi connection whenever you're on the move, and having mobile connectivity can solve that issue. If you wish to use your iPad to watch a movie or browse the web while you're traveling, it is best that you get a model that supports cellular data, and you all have that, right?
Yes.
This is what your SIM card looks like, by the way. See this little thing here? It's inside of your iPad.
Yeah.
To the side, but you can't physically see it. It's inside a port, and it takes a lot of work to get it out. So don't try taking it out.
Yeah, it's a tiny little square little thing. Yeah.
Okay, so the iPad is also good for what is known as GPS connectivity that can amplify the experience of owning an iPad, since it can be pretty valuable outdoors. So you can leave your home with that iPad. Yep. The good news about owning the Wi-Fi and cellular variant of an iPad is getting what? A GPS chip. And what this means, you can now use your iPad as a navigation device. So you're out and about, whether you're walking, on the whatever it is, you have now access to, you can find out where you are and where you're heading. So that's another advantage of having that cellular broadband, because you don't need Wi-Fi while you're out. Well, you'll need it if you want to use a GPS, but you don't have Wi-Fi once you leave your home, right? You now have to rely on cellular broadband to have internet access, and that will then give you the option of using your GPS system. Using a cellular iPad as your primary navigation system means you also get an additional layer of security, as it will notify you of its location constantly throughout my Find device. But note that leaving your iPad in a hot car, can damage it permanently. So don't ever do that. So if you plan to leave it in your car, keep it protected from exposure to extreme temperatures like this time of the year, right? Put it in your handbag if you're getting out of your car. Don't leave it in your, or if you do, put it somewhere under the seat, somewhere where the sun can't get to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, for those of you who go to work, if you do, I'm sure that we have some part-time workers here. It's also a good for, I use it for work. Okay, now, an iPad is a lot easier to have, because you don't have to walk around with a laptop and a mouse and a screen, a monitor, right? An iPad is all in one, right?
Right.
So here, that's another advantage of this thing. Security reasons. If you tend to work or access sensitive documents while you're traveling, like if you're traveling, the last thing you want to do is use what? A public Wi-Fi network to access information. So if you're traveling, you're getting on a plane, going wherever, you don't want to use the Wi-Fi at the airport or at Starbucks or McDonald's. Always use your cellular broadband, always. Nobody's accessing that but you, that network, okay? Okay, so streaming, right? If you want to listen to podcast, or access other streaming services while traveling, having an iPad with network connectivity can be a huge blessing. Getting a cellular iPad model means that you can listen to Spotify, tune in to the online radio on your daily commute, or even access video apps if you want to kill time. Just make sure you get a good, and you all have a good data plan that is paid for by DACO. So let's look, there's only one con that I found in my research to having cellular, an iPad. It's a feature like others, it comes with at a price. So let's look at what that only reason is. The cost. Okay. The price of Wi-Fi and cellular model is always higher than the Wi-Fi version of an iPad. Typically about 150 to 200 more. So let's say, for example, you decide to buy a new 11-inch iPad Pro for $799. If you picked up this version with an eSIM support, you have to shell out at least $900. Now that this can be a deal breaker for many people, and rightfully so, that is sharp price hike. So you all got the best when DACO. DACO didn't just give you one with Wi-Fi where you're restricted at home. You got one with both. You can use Wi-Fi or you can use cellular. You have that option. So, and with that cellular, you have what is called broadband. And that broadband, it's mobile. You can walk, you can go wherever with it anytime. So with that said, I see a hand raised. Mrs. Duckett, you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I noticed that when we have the one-on-one at the library, sometimes they wait for it to tune up with the library. Sometimes when we go to the library, the Wi-Fi, it doesn't always, how should I say?
Hook up.
Right.
You mean the speed is a little slow? It's delayed?
Yes.
It's delayed, yeah. Because in a library, you have many users, many individuals accessing the network at the same time. So the more people on the network, guess what? The slower the speed, the more it's delayed, right?
Yes.
That's the reason why. Same way like in your home. If you have 3 or 4 of you in a home using the internet, the slower the speed will be. Just you using it, the faster it is. Okay, does that explain that, Mrs. Duckett?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep, you're welcome. Mary, unmute. Go ahead, unmute. And so Geraldine, unmute. Mary, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, like when I go to the hospital, when I get into the hospital, my my iPad goes out. It doesn't have no signal or anything. Then I try to get on to my Comcast, it won't do it. Then I try to get on to AT&T, it won't do it. But then the hospital has their thing on there, but they say it's not secured.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about that. So many organizations like hospitals, big companies, don't want you killing their signals. So they kill your signals on your devices. Right? They knock it out completely. They're dominating. You have to access their network to get access to the internet.
But it's not secured. That's the only thing.
But it's not secure because what is going on there is that they have a network, and in that network they said, okay, we're gonna lock off the use for the offices, all of the important things in the hospital, and we're going to give a portion of that network to guest use. So that guest will have some access. Any and everybody could jump on it. It is not secure. So don't do any kind of business confidential stuff while it's like using the same network when you go to Starbucks or you go to McDonald's or the airport. That's what
Yeah.
it's open.
Okay.
They don't want you, in other words, killing their signals when you come in with your device. So they knock out all signals but their own.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Geraldine, go ahead.
Okay. Hi. Now, in the past couple of months, my internet, my router and all that went out in my home. One time it went out, I noticed that I could use my iPad, and I was wondering how I wondered how at first I couldn't use it. And all of a sudden I tried to use it and I could use it. I was all on the iPad. Now, was that because my cellular data kicked in?
Exactly. And
Well, how
you-
did that do that?
Okay.
Because
All
it,
right,
it,
let me
it
show
did it
you.
on its own, but the second time, well, it came back on. This I just wonder, how do you do that in case it goes out again? I want to know
Okay,
how.
I'm gonna go now to my, I'm now gonna go to, hold on. I'm gonna go to my device and the iPad and show you what's going on there. It's important that you're aware of this. So let's do that. And I'm gonna stop sharing screen on this one. And then I'm going to go to my iPad. And no audio, got it, see, close, got it. All right, so let's now go to, well, first let me share my screen, and then once I share my screen,
So Teresa, the lady with the hospital part, so she turned her cellular data on where it had worked?
no, they knocked it all out. They don't want anybody, some organizations are like that, and especially a hospital will be like that. They need to dominate. They need to just keep things where they have control over it. Some, I'm not saying all, but some will do that, will knock out all signals. It's like when you get on a plane,
Right.
your device will not work unless you link up to whatever the plane, whether it's the airlines is provided. Cellular will not work, will not work. Okay, so now I'm going to go to settings on my device and show you exactly what happened. I've got to go to settings. Okay. As you can see, I'm in settings right now. Notice to the left of my screen on settings, where it says Wi-Fi off, Bluetooth on, and then below that, cellular. See that? Now,
Yeah, see, I
my
see.
iPad right now is not using my Wi-Fi that I have here. It is not. I could turn it on by just flipping here and then turning it on. And now it's going to look for the Wi-Fi signal here in my home. As you could see, it's now doing so. See the check mark up there?
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
me. It's my Wi-Fi access. Now, let's say I don't want it on. I can simply shut that off. And now I'm only using cellular data, and I am, because here's cellular data here. And notice it's green and white, it's on. Now, as far as Geraldine is concerned, Geraldine, what has happened is that you had it on, you weren't even aware that you had it on, the cellular data.
Okay.
So when Wi-Fi went out, guess what?
Cellular kicked in.
Cellular kicks in.
Exactly. Yep. Mhm.
Oh, so if it goes out again, then I guess our cellular is on, so I don't have to worry. I can still use my iPad.
Yeah. So make sure it's green and white though in cellular.
Okay, I
so
gotta
that
make
it
sure
will
that
kick in.
that's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Okay.
it will kick in.
So
Okay,
she turned that
perfect.
cellular data off, Teresa, then you won't have nothing, right? Say you
Pardon me?
turn that green light off for the cellular data.
No cellular will be on. So nothing
gotta
will
make
kick
sure
in
it's
if the
on.
Wi-Fi goes down.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad to know that. I'm glad to know that. I was worried about that.
So
Now
always
notice,
keep that cellular data light on, right?
Yeah, gotta make sure that light is on,
Yeah,
All
that's
green and
green.
white.
Mhm.
But
green and white.
yeah,
Now, I don't think that you all have this, but you see where it says personal hotspot?
Yeah,
I
I don't
have
think
it.
you all have access to that, but that's when you don't have access to the internet on your device, and you can jump on, you can share, or somebody comes that don't have it, you can share your network with them. That's what the personal hotspot means. For example, recently I was out of town, and where I went, I didn't have any Wi-Fi, and I needed to use a second device that didn't have cellular. So I used the personal hotspot to access the internet. So I
okay,
had two devices, one that had cellular, one with none.
All right.
Did you get
Keep
the
it
second
on.
one up and running? I used the personal hotspot.
okay, okay.
And
And
Teresa,
that's
we were
how I was
told
able
we
to-
didn't have it on our iPads.
I don't
Okay,
think you all
fine.
have that plan.
No,
No.
we don't have it on ours.
Wait a minute. Let me go to.
I have it on mine, Teresa.
Let me go
Yeah,
to mine.
because you were I think they initially when they first started the program, they started having that, and then they took it off.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
can I
Oh, I
use
don't
it
have
if I have to?
Pardon me?
Can I use it if I need to?
If you need to, yep, you have to set up
Oh,
a
okay.
password. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look down below where it says cellular plans. Yours, I don't know what yours is reading, but mine is different. I'm with T-Mobile. And
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to add a new plan, I simply add, if I were to, let's say I don't want to be with T-Mobile anymore, I can add whomever, and that will give me access to the internet as far as cellular data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr.
Now,
Mr. Reason,
uh-huh,
Mr. Reason,
I'm here.
is the hotspot that's on our iPhone, right?
You probably have hotspot on your iPhone. Yes. Yes, you do. You can use
Oh.
that as a hotspot. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm,
all right.
mhm. Yep, because you're paying for it. Yep. Mhm. For example, I was out of town and I was using my desktop to get access to my email and stuff on my desktop, but I didn't have Wi-Fi because my desktop only works with Wi-Fi to access the internet. It doesn't have a cellular plan on it. But in order to do it, I had to use the hotspot of the iPad or my phone to give my laptop access to the internet.
Add a new
Make
plan.
sense?
Yep.
And for those of you, I did speak with DACL a couple of weeks ago, and they said to me to let you all know that they will not be taking away the cellular part of the program. You all will have that indefinitely.
Okay,
It's me.
Okay?
thank you.
For those of you who don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have to worry. You'll have cellular data paid for by DACL. That's part of the continuation of the program. Okay?
Good to know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you
Miss
very much.
Teresa, I see
Go ahead.
on my in my what's that
Settings.
iPad.
yeah, my settings. Thank you, Miss Ann. Thank you, Miss Ann. In my settings, it says set up a personal hotspot.
Yep.
Yeah, mine
Well,
said that too.
try setting it up and see if it works. I don't know because I don't have access to your device, so I don't know.
Okay,
Try.
I'm not
Yeah.
messing with
Notice
nothing I
they
don't know
finished
nothing
setting.
about.
but
Yeah.
it's
So
not
I
under
can't
the
say it.
yeah, it's not under the
I don't know
cellular
what they're
data.
offering you.
Oh, is what they offer me?
Is what DACL is paying for.
Oh, okay then. You
Mhm.
say you under T-Mobile, but mine's under
Yeah,
AT.
mine isn't under under DACL's plan.
Oh, it's under the okay.
Yeah,
I got
my iPad isn't owned by DACL or provided by DACL services.
okay. All right.
It's
Thank
provided by my work. Yeah, my employer. Mhm.
you. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else in this area before we move from here?
This was very enlightening. Thank you.
Mhm. So that's basically, and so I hope you all have an idea now the difference between Wi-Fi and
Mhm.
cellular data. Cellular,
Miss
you can
Teresa.
go around, you can go any part, as long as you're getting signals, you will be able to access the internet with cellular data. With Wi-Fi, no. Wi-Fi depends on a provider, and the provider will provide you with a router, and that's usually in a stationary
At
location.
the house,
Your
at the
home,
home or somewhere.
right,
Miss
or
Teresa.
wherever you go. Yes.
Sheila Stevens. I did have my hand raised, but I just want to say, when I got my vehicle, it had 4G, where you could get Wi-Fi in the vehicle, but that was like a trial thing. Once I didn't pay for it, the Wi-Fi, active Wi-Fi went away. But if I have this iPad in my vehicle, and I have both Wi-Fi and cellular turned on, I have to turn Wi-Fi off so it won't keep trying to connect to my Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
So that I
Uh-huh.
can use
Yes.
cellular.
Can't be on
And
two
I
at one
just want
time.
the people to know that sometimes when you're in that area, you know that you can't access the Wi-Fi in that particular area. Just turn Wi-Fi off so the cellular can kick in a little quicker.
Notice
Okay.
my Wi-Fi is off, and that's the reason why. I don't want it trying to connect to anything.
Yeah, but I was just saying if someone had both of them
Yes.
turned on simultaneously, and they say, well, it's not connecting, it's not connected. Sometimes you just go in the setting, turn the Wi-Fi off, and let it connect to the cellular.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Mhm.
Okay.
Very
I see.
good.
Okay, I see.
Thanks for
Mhm.
sharing. Mhm.
Question.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Next
You were
person.
talking about the vulnerability of public Wi-Fi networks, like used in coffee shops and hospitals. How safe do you consider using those public networks if you're using VPN, virtual private networks?
The VPN. Well, the VPN is a paid service by whoever is providing that VPN. So it's locked down, it's encrypted, so then it's safe if it's going through VPN.
Okay, thank you.
If it is safe because it's a paid service to lock and secure and encrypt your data.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have to sign into that VPN.
I thought that maybe you have to sign in each time, or you just mean you have to initialize it?
To initialize it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's a good question. Very good question. Any more questions on Wi-Fi or cellular broadband?
Okay, Miss Teresa, we are on our in our settings, do we have the Bluetooth? Should that be on or off? Should it say on or off?
Well, it all depends. Bluetooth, mine is on because let's go there. Every once in a while, I might want to use my speaker. Let's say I'm listening to music on here, and I wanted to discover a wireless speaker that I have here. So I can now, and notice it's turning. Notice mine is going round and round. It's looking for wireless Bluetooth devices within my area where I am. Yeah, I don't have any now, but it's saying here, the iPad is discoverable as iPad while Bluetooth setting is open. So it's looking for Bluetooth devices right now but I don't have any. So it's going to keep circling. So, but I can turn it off and it wouldn't do so anymore. And that's if I had a speaker or a printer that was Bluetooth, I would want to have it on so that it could discover.
Okay.
But if you're not using it or you traveling or going on the bus or something, you
Turn it
don't
off.
need, have you turn it off?
Turn it off. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you don't want, because sometimes if it discovers it, it'll ask you, do you want others to discover your
You.
Bluetooth?
Oh,
Do you want
okay.
them? Absolutely no.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
So
Thank
turn it on only when you need it,
only when you need it. Okay. Thank you.
and then turn it off when you finish using it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Let me go ahead and turn it off.
Mhm.
okay.
Any more questions on Bluetooth, broadband, Wi-Fi? I
Yes,
guess that's
Teresa.
it.
Just Teresa, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I don't know, maybe I got lost somewhere. My Wi-Fi has Xfinity beside it.
Mhm,
Okay, because that's my carrier.
mhm.
And it says, I see it's green and white. Then I have my cellular data. So which one should I have on? Should I have cellular data on too, along with the Wi-Fi?
It all depends. If you're putting out money for Wi-Fi every month, I would
Yeah.
use Wi-Fi if you're paying for it.
Yes. So should I have them both on at the same
And
time?
so, yeah, and so in the event the Wi-Fi drops for whatever reason, signals die, cellular will kick in. So you keep it on.
Okay, what about Wi-Fi calling? What is that?
Wi-Fi what?
Wi-Fi calling.
Calling. I think that has to do with FaceTime. Again, let me look up that term because I haven't really explored that term before I can even answer that question. Wi-Fi calling is, I mean, if you're using your device and you're using Wi-Fi to access the internet, then does that mean if you're using FaceTime, you're using, I don't know, let's find out. I'll find out right now. Wi-Fi calling. So calling. Okay, so it's your phone. They're talking about your phone. Yeah, it's your phone they're talking about. So good question. Now I understand what the term means. It says here, let's say you're at home, you have your iPhone or your Android, and it's always recommended to keep your device on Wi-Fi while you're in your home.
Yeah.
Because you may use up your data plan on your actual phone plan. Because you pay monthly for your phone, right? Your smartphone, right?
Okay,
Is a
that's
plan.
cellular.
You have limited data on that plan.
Right.
So
Am I
they're
paying for
saying if you
Wi-Fi
have,
or am I paying for Wi-Fi or cellular?
okay, if you have Wi-Fi, you're paying for it. If you have a
Okay.
smartphone, you're paying for it.
Okay, yeah. I am.
So
It's
if you're at
facility.
home and have your phone only on Wi-Fi, use Wi-Fi. That way you don't use up your data plan, which is what I do. Years ago, I didn't quite understand what it meant to use your Wi-Fi in your home. So I was always using my phone data plan, have my Wi-Fi shut off. And then I would get this excessive bill more than what, saying I went over my data plan.
Right.
So if I use Wi-Fi while I'm in the home, I don't use up my actual data on my actual phone that comes with that plan. I keep it at and I have AT&T, and what happens with that, it rolls over. If I don't use up all of my data this month, guess what? It rolls into the next month. So I have the moment I decide to step away from my home and I'm traveling, I'm in an airport, the hotel, wherever, I am no longer using Wi-Fi, but I'm using my data, and I have lots of it because I rolled it over. I kept it at a minimum while I'm in my home using Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Is everyone clear on that?
Uh-huh.
If you have Wi-Fi in your home and you have a smartphone, use Wi-Fi while you're in the home. Save your data plan for when you're outside of the house. and use that.
So you gotta go in and change it?
You turn it off while you turn cellular data off when you're in the house?
You can, yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
And then once you're leaving, in fact, I'm going to go to mine right now on my iPhone. I'm going to settings. And if you have an Android, and go into settings on your phone right now. And my Wi-Fi is on. So anything that I do in my home, I'm using Wi-Fi. Now, is my cellular on? Yes. When I leave out now, it then kicks in so I can still continue to have access to the internet on my smartphone. But while I'm in the house, I'm using Wi-Fi. So should I have them both on? Yes.
Teresa,
Mhm.
I don't know whether this makes sense, the question I'm gonna ask you, but I
Mhm.
had my Wi-Fi, always kept it on, right? And
Mhm.
whenever I go into settings, underneath that, it will give me all this list of everybody like in my building. And does that mean that, what does that mean? And then I turn it off.
That's
and
a very good question. It makes a lot of sense. So it's a very good, okay, so what your phone or iPad is designed, your network is designed to, is to look for networks, any network. So I'm home right now. If I go into settings, let me go on my iPad right now and go into settings, and you'll see that in my Wi-Fi, it's going to add, it's all kinds, look at all that just look at my, see all those? Those are all my neighbors, all the people around me.
Okay.
The networks, yeah, the other networks.
Yep, all the networks that it's picking up the signal. Remember we talked about radio signals earlier?
Right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's what that's picking up. Your device is designed to pick up radio signals.
Okay.
So any radio signal within a certain distance of you where you are, it will pick up. Will. Now notice though, on my screen that I am hooked up to mine with the check mark. Notice the blue check mark. So I'm picking up signal on my, right now on my iPad from my home network, my Wi-Fi. Now down below that, if you notice this networks with the S, notice that the very top one is, I have a secondary.
Oh, okay.
But then after that, that's my neighbors. All of my neighbors.
Okay.
But
Notice the person with the dining room doesn't have a lock.
Okay.
I could jump on theirs.
Okay.
Would you have to put that blue check mark beside it though? That means you.
Well, no, I don't have to do it. Okay, my network will ask me, let's say I've never went on the internet with this iPad before, and it identified, I recognize that this AT&T 12ANEJA is my network. Once I select that, if I select it, look what it's going to ask me. Do I want to join? Yes. What is enter your password to access my network? I need to enter a password.
Okay.
Okay. That's what they mean about passwords. That's how you lock it down. And so that if somebody comes to visit you with a device and they say, well, what's your home network? You will need to give them a password if your system is locked down to access your Wi-Fi.
Yes. Okay. That's right. When my children come to town, they have to say, Mom, what's your password? You know, they have to join my my internet with their with my password.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And these here below are all the other networks that that are set up within a certain radius of my home.
Okay.
So what's the Wi-Fi calling, Miss Teresa?
So the Wi-Fi calling is your phone.
Okay.
Your actual phone, your smartphone. When you're in the home, use that instead.
Oh, okay.
For network.
So to be on.
Yes. Right. To keep your cellular data of your smartphone to only when you go outside, you begin using it. So I'm just throwing numbers out, okay? Don't quote me on it. Let's say you have a data plan on your smartphone that says that you are allowed, let's say, 400 gigabytes of whatever, and you use up 450. They're going to charge you for that 50 in addition to your regular monthly plan.
Mhm.
However, if you're in your home, you don't have to use up 450. You can keep your cellular low by using only Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Wi-Fi calling.
Oh,
And when you go out, then you use your cellular when you're away from your home.
Okay.
Make sense?
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Those of you with smartphones, if you had to pay more than your normal monthly bill because perhaps you went over your data plan.
Yeah, in the past, I remember that happened.
Oh,
Yep.
use me.
I doubt if it really happens much these days, because what happens now, instead of charging you, they slow down the speed, and you get a slower access. You know, everything goes to like a real slow. If you go over your data plan, they slow down the speed of you accessing the internet.
Teresa, can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
You know, when in your settings, you go to your mail part, and when you go to mail, you go
Mhm.
scroll down, you see block sender options.
Uh-huh.
Then
You want me
you
to go there now?
yes,
Let's go there. Uh-huh.
see what yours have.
Okay.
And go to mail, go scroll down to block sender options.
You mean go into the actual menu?
Yes, push mail.
I'm in mail right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, now come on down.
No,
No,
okay.
scroll
No,
down.
this is
No,
message. This is, yeah, I'm in mail, going down.
okay, all the way down till you see block sender options and block.
I'm in mine. I don't see that. Block senders option.
And block.
I don't see in, not on mine, I don't.
You don't see it?
I'm at the bottom of my mail account in mail. Manage.
Yourself. So messages. But anyway, it says block sender options. When you push that, okay, the block sender is in green. But now when I go back and push just block, when I tap that, I got 13 phone numbers and I have 2 emails.
Meaning you blocked them?
No, I don't even know who these people are. I dialed one of them and their machine came on, but I don't even know these numbers.
You're brave to even dial it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really are brave. I wouldn't be I would just ignore it.
I mean, these my granddaughter was telling me, she said these are people probably that had the iPad before I had.
Oh, really?
She said, because that's how it normally do.
Oh, really? I would have to, before I can say yeah or nay to that, I would have to find out more information.
Well, wait a minute.
Because
I'm gonna get
that's
this
your
speaker
mail.
on so I can hear you. I know
That's
you
your
answered the
mail
phone.
account.
Just hold
Nobody,
on a second.
that's your mail account. Nobody has access to your mail account except for you.
Right.
So how would it be someone else's mail?
It say you will not receive phone call, messages, email, or FaceTime from people on the block list.
Really? I have to look that up before I can respond to that.
And I found this out because what's her name?
Tatiana.
Yeah, she was helping Sandra, and I was on the email with Sandra, and I heard her. She told Sandra to go to this mail part where the blocking part is and turn the blocking part off or keep or something she told her. So then I was just scrolling, I was just looking, then I pushed the other one underneath of it that said block. And I said, wow, who was all these phone numbers?
Whoa, I'd have to see that before I could even make a comment on it.
Right, because I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know, do I supposed to take them off? But then they have under there in blue, I can add new.
Denise,
Yes.
do you think that that is a scammer? And when it came up and the thing, I have a thing that comes up on my phone and it came up on my iPad and I push block. Do you think that you blocked them and you didn't, it was a scammer and it said scammer and you blocked it?
No, it didn't say scam, never blocked anybody.
Oh, okay.
But like you said, maybe they were trying to get through, and by me had that green light on saying block, they probably couldn't never get through.
Oh yeah, because I just looked at mine and it says where I had blocked people, and I'm not not remembering that I blocked anybody. And I usually don't have any phone calls on my iPad other than family. But yeah, so that could be what I'm
and
just
these
looking
are
at.
local numbers, 202, and I have one that's a 301, then I have one that's a 240.
Yeah, those are Maryland numbers.
Most of them 202.
And
I have 2 iCloud people names.
Oh.
Only Big Pop Pen.
Well, like I said,
I ignore it. I would just ignore it.
I would leave it alone.
I would ignore those.
Yep,
I'm
that's what I
laughing
would
because
do.
you know what I thought Big Poppin' was.
Okay, before we go, I just want to read off what let's get a very clear understanding on what is Wi-Fi calling. Okay. All right. So, when Wi-Fi calling is when cellular service is available, your phone uses it for emergency calls. If you turn on Wi-Fi calling and cellular service isn't available, emergency calls might use Wi-Fi calling. Your device's location may be used to aid response efforts when you place an emergency call, regardless of whether you enable location services. So all I'm saying, this is what I'm reading. I found it on, I went to Apple. I'm reading up on the iPhone. I'm assuming, or I can assume that at the Android phones, if you have that, have the same sort of setup. That cellular kicks in when Wi-Fi isn't there, right? And when Wi-Fi is available, that's what it uses first before it uses cellular.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ask me. I want to ask you one more thing, Teresa.
Go ahead.
iPads that we have, are they used or are they new?
That's a good question, Denise. You know, I can't answer that question because I really don't even see those iPads. But what in talking to Yolanda Wise, who works for the department of and she's the one that's purchasing them, she speaks as if they're new. So I can't say they're not. She never indicated that they're used. And if you think of it of being, if they were recently manufactured, how old can they be?
Right. True.
Mine was
That making sense?
Yeah.
Because iPads don't normally die within a year or two of owning it. So unless you're trading it in, how many trade-ins could they have that they're now going to turn around and sell and sell hundreds of thousands of it to that? I can't say that.
Right.
I can't speak for that. What I say is treat it as if it's new and,
Right. Appreciate it.
They're working okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for today that they're working okay.
And you're getting cellular with it because
Yeah.
that's, yep, that's
Oh,
what you
yeah,
need to
it's a
thank
very
God.
good. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up now. It's now 11:30.
Miss Teresa, I want to ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
Did I miss the printing from your iPad? You know,
Yeah, we did that a few weeks ago,
I think I was missing that day.
but they should have it on YouTube, printing from
Oh,
your iPad.
okay.
That should be
I'll-
available.
Yeah.
And how to buy printers for your if you need one.
I have a
did cover-
HP. I have a HP right now.
And is it Bluetooth accessible?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. So then
But
you
my-
need to go into YouTube and look for printing by Teresa, because I did it. And
Mhm.
hopefully you'll be able to find how to.
Yeah.
And if you really need to set it up, call the help desk. That's what they're there for.
Okay.
Okay. You'll probably need to have them help you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So call the help desk.
I have it hooked up on my laptop, but the laptop is not working now. So
Yeah. Yeah, I do understand that. Mhm.
That's
Okay.
a nice picture of you, Teresa. Who's
Pardon
that,
me?
your daughter? That's a nice
Teresa.
picture of you. Who's that, your daughter?
Oh, no. Oh my goodness, I didn't even notice that. No, it's like a long lost cousin. I would say I met her for the first time at a wedding. You know how you
Oh.
never meet these relatives until there's either a wedding or a
Yeah.
funeral?
Or
Wedding,
funeral,
Uh-huh.
This is
or
one of them.
funeral. Mm-hmm.
This is one of them. Never met her before.
Oh, wow. That's a nice picture.
Mhm.
Yeah, you look real pretty.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. I'll see all of you hopefully at 1:30. We're talking about how to create your own accounts as far as Zoom.
All right.
Okay.
It's always important or key to have a free Zoom account. And that's
Okay,
what we're covering for Tech Fridays.
okay.
I don't know how many of you have your own Zoom account.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
I do, Teresa.
I
I
do.
do, I do.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, but that's what we're covering this afternoon. So I'm
Okay.
actually going to go get ready for that.
All right.
Okay,
Hey.
so I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Right.
And God bless and thank you for participating in this morning's advanced training.